What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Soulblaze YouTube channel. It's your boy Soulblaze. Sorry for not being the enthusiastic volume that I regularly am. I have to keep it civil and low a little bit just because it's past 12 a.m. People are sleeping in the house. I can't be doing all that. But you know, we're back and I am excited to come to you today with another Wi-Fi season. We keeping this thing running out here on the channel. We're back, gladly accepted, humbly accepted another invite to join the WPF. Have had a ton of fun playing in the past, want to play again in the future. I love playing in this league. It's so fun. I have a lot of friends there. Thanks to the mod squad and to the new owner for considering me and bringing me back in. This is going to be a Yap video. If you don't like those, that's all fair and good. But we got some graphics for you today. So if you are hyped for today's video and today's draft analysis for Season 18 of WPF Delta, then make sure to stick around. And there will be some takeaways on competitive Pokemon here. Not just battling will get you far. Looking at and analyzing and really getting nitty-gritty with it, down in the details, will get you far as well. So I hope you're excited. Make sure to show the support to the video. Follow all the wonderful WPF Delta coaches down in the description below. You know the deal. You know how it goes. I won't hold you on for too long. But on these graphics, we have a question of the day. Your favorite Gen 9 moment. Make sure to answer that in the comments below while you're down there. Let's get on with the first pick. Again, this is kind of funny because I went back and looked at the past season. And we have the exact same draft spot as last season. 13 out of 16. It's not the worst draft spot, but let's be honest, it's pretty mid, right? It's not there. It's not there. So I was kind of just like, okay, we're just gonna see how it goes. We're gonna take what gets to me. You've probably seen it on the thumbnail already, but I got the freaking power. He's back. I introduced to you Franklin the second. Yes, sir. If you've been following my good friend Ducky and his Wi-Fi journey through the latest season that he had, you will see that this thing has put in a lot of work for him. And it has also put in a lot of work for me in the past on this very channel in BBR. If you remember that team, you know we brought Terrible. You know we brought that Terra Electric. You know we brought that Terra Fairy. And we put it to work. This thing is a beast. It's a monster. I'm not going to sit here and say everything that makes it great, but the stats are amazing. Super bulky, super offensive. It's bulky offense, baby. It's Calm Mind. It is hit things hard on the special side with dual stab and your new Terra type. That's what this thing does. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't do anything else than that. That's what this thing does. Either it hits hard right away by using Terra type and maybe an item, maybe booster energy, special attack, or God forbid it sets up a Calm Mind and then you're even more fucked. It can set up Calm Minds with or without special attack investment depending on how much you need to tank the damage. Raging Bolt got 137 special attack. It don't really care about that. Yes, a +1 is going to make a difference with investment or not, but this thing can run either. It has a goated typing without Terra. It is even better with Terra. It's Terra Raging Bolt. Franklin the second, Ducky, I know you're watching this, my bro. I'm going to try, man. I'm going to try and make you proud. I'm going to try and put this thing back on the field and make it work. So yes, we might be copying the BBR team, but we're not copying it all the way. But this is a one-to-one start so far. Then it gets to me again. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I really want this Pokemon. And I don't think it's going to get to me because having that make it as far as I think back to me, it's impossible. I have to pick one or the other. It was very close to being that my second round pick as the first round pick. I got arguably the greatest second round pick of all time in Draft League history. Especially with what the current wins are favoring. It's Meowth. This thing is a round 1 pick. There's no ifs, ands, buts, won'ts about it. This should have gone round 1. We're 16 coaches. How this thing came back to me as 13th seed is inexcusable, hard to understand. But I'll take it. I'll take it off your hands any single day. This thing making it to me brought up some reactions in the chat, or in the Delta, in the coaches chat. People are like, how did we let him get this? Why haven't anybody picked Meowscarada? Greatest round 2 pick of all time. What are we doing in 2025? Letting him have this. And I agree, this thing is ridiculous. If there's one thing you need to be concerned about by picking Terra Raging Bolt round 1, it's getting speed. Meowscarada is speed, baby. And of course, it is one of the strongest knockoff users in the format. Coming off of a stab 110 is not bad. And you could also, of course, amplify it with further items like a choice band knockoff from Meowscarada is going to hurt. 110 obviously isn't the greatest stat of all time, but with this thing being so prevalent and clicking the moves that it does, this thing can help remove Assault Vest from Raging Bolt answers, which is super good for the team. Super good for the team. Yes, they both share an ice weakness. I'm going to stop you there. Meowscarada has 1 bajillion different weaknesses. It changes up its typing as it uses moves. Not a problem. Terra Raging Bolt is not going to stay its typing all the time. And if you're going to sit here and say, but you're not going to Terra your Raging Bolt because you have more Terra points or you're going to Terra something else on your team. No. Raging Bolt is Terra. I don't care. This mon is too good with Terra. Yes, it might be able to win some matchups without Terra, but not Terraing a Raging Bolt, that's like having a Ferrari in your backyard and you're not willing to drive it. Like what is that about? Why are we doing that? Well, here's Meowscarada. Yes, it can turn into an ice type, stack it up with a triple axle, pivot around with a U-turn volt switch core with its power duo partner. It also has some very fun stuff. You can run supportive sets like T-Spikes, turning into a poison type. You can turn into a ground type and negate an electric type attack and set up a spike. You get the stab U-turn as you're going out. You have the elegant 123 speed, which is perfect. It's like a perfect speed tier. It's not too fast that you sacrifice a lot of in your other stats to get there, and it's not too low to outspeed the metagame. You outspeed the metagame. The things that outspeed you, they are speedsters to the point where they sacrifice in another department. I feel like Meowscarada is one of the mons where it ends. We don't have to sacrifice power, you don't have to sacrifice utility, support, whatever. You get it all in Meowscarada. Very happy with this mon. I'll be gladly taking it. I have never played with Meowscarada on Wi-Fi. I am excited to use it. And I couldn't let this pass up, even though I wanted to copy my BBR team and go Rillaboom and get that Grassy Terrain healing for Raging Bolt. So here we are. With this demon of a combo, I was very, very scared of messing up this draft going forward. Because if you have LeBron James and Michael Jordan, like, what are you supposed to put on that team? Like, any mon you put on that team is going to make it worse. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to put stuff we need. Mons that can come to every game, mons that can back him up, mons that can get him in, mons that can help him out. Next mon is one of that. It's Quaquaval. This thing is fun. This thing is fun because it can be a demon if it gets the right setup. Gets an Aqua Step off on a kill, +1/+1, free Dragon Dance right there. Gets a Rapid Spin Up, which leads to you being faster and then getting the kill with Aqua Step, and then you're +1/+1. And then you're +2/+1, if anything. So this thing has removal, it has sweeping power, more physical power to go along with Meowscarada. It can go tanky and invest less in speed, getting the momentum going further. Getting Meowscarada in safer, getting Raging Bolt in safer, and Raging Bolt as a slow momentum user itself can also get Quack in safely to get hazards away, for example. Because Raging Bolt is tanking, it can tank a hit. If I am willing to sacrifice that HP, I can do that. But the main thing about Quaquaval that makes it really nice along with these two is the fact that it has reliable recovery. In Roost, it can heal itself. So I can run it more tanky, and I can heal it, and I can sweep with it, and I can support with it. Typings that I need, I like it. This mon can come to every game. It can be used with or without Terra. It's going to be without Terra this time. I've used it in the past. I feel like it's very, very good. Of course, it's also very, very limited in its move pool. Yes, you're going to have to struggle. You're going to want 5 or 6 moves on this thing every time. You're going to have to only run 4. It is what it is, but hopefully maybe Meowscarada can help with that. Maybe Raging Bolt with that. Maybe future members can help with that. Depending on the matchup, maybe that will help me sort it out a little bit. But this thing is a demon with setup. It's a demon in terms of removal and pivoting and Quaquaval's on the team. So now you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, you got him. Meowscarada, Quaquaval. Obviously Skeledirge is next, right? No. Don't get me wrong, Skeledirge is a fantastic mon. And Skeledirge I've used a lot with Terra and early Scarvy. And it pulled off a couple sweeps. It's not top 10, I wouldn't say that. But it is definitely a mid-tier Terra that's usable. I did not decide to go along with Skeledirge this time. Although it actually, funnily enough, fits on this team in some way. No. But another ghost type that I saw came in for super cheap, and I couldn't pass it up in terms of the speed that I need to bridge Meowscarada down was Mega Gengar. I want that 130 speed. This thing is a demon. This thing is killing Arceus. This thing is round 1 pick of Ubers. How did this last to round 4? No clue. I couldn't tell you. But Mega Gengar is here to rip ass, and yeah, it's about to rip ass. That's the only thing it does. This thing has a bajillion special attack, a bajillion speed, a bajillion damage, a bajillion no cares in the world. Obviously, I didn't get Mega Gengar. But we have regular Gengar. I couldn't find the image for it. It's not in the folder. I don't know what to tell you. Couldn't find it. But you'll get this cooler version of Gengar to look at. Also remind you to, which starters are you picking in ZA? Maybe that should have been the question of the day as well. I just kind of wanted to leave the Gen 9, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like wrap it up. Yeah, Gengar has won a tournament for me in the past. I've used it on my BBR team in the past, and I would do it again. This thing is a beast. I love it. This thing is crazy, and it's really underrated in the wins now. This thing I scooped up for 8 points, as you can see. 8 points is crazy cheap. Why would you draft an 8-pointer around 4? I looked at the remaining typings. I looked at the speed tiers. There is nothing in the 110 speed tiers that I really feel fit my team better than Gengar, that I want and that I'm comfortable with using, than Gengar. So we're scooping Gengar. And if other people are seeing the same thing I'm seeing, then they're going to see that 8-point Gengar is on the table, and I don't want that. And the picks that I've planned in the future are less likely to get grabbed because they are more unorthodox picks. So I'm kind of branching out here, not following the standard path. I want to try and make this team my own, and Gengar is going to help me do that because I'm comfortable using him from seasons past. Great mon in general, and like on paper, and who doesn't love Gengar? Like, how can you not cheer for a team with Gengar? Gengar is amazing. So that's Gengar, dude. And I hope that Gengar can keep putting on that performance that it has, both in BBR, it did well there, but also, of course, in the past season of TAO. Yes, I had a normal Terra D-Knight. Don't want to hear it. Gengar did some work there as well. So that's Gengar. Love it, love it, love it. Bunch of utility. Offensive utility. This team is shaping up to be quite a fun team to use. Next up, we have a funny little story for you. So, next up we have this little mon here. It's called Klefki, and the fun thing about it is that it's also on my BBR team. Now, excuse me for looking a little to the side here, because there's a little funny story that happened with this mon. And it was basically, there was one coach who absolutely wanted and needed this on his team. And he was like, I don't have any substitutions. I don't have any other plans. It's Klefki or nothing. And so when I grab Klefki, shit's going off the roof. He's tagging me and he's like, wow, you really destroyed my whole team, huh? What's it going to take for you to trade it to me? And I'm like, bro, after what Klefki did for me in BBR, you couldn't trade me gold for it. Okay? So it's more so funny that Klefki's on the team just because I messed it up. I messed up another coach so bad, so that's really funny. I'm also seeing now on my slide that the nickname here is wrong. The nickname is going to be locked in, just so you know. But Klefki's super fun to use, man. It's so much fun. The only prankster spikes user in the Scarvy metagame. Super good T-Wave support, because guess what? Raging Bolt is an electric type that doesn't like to run T-Wave. So here we go. This is going to help out the team. Set up screens. Do you know how strong Raging Bolt is behind screens with Terra? Do you know how good Meowscarada can be behind screens? Gengar behind screens, setting up a nasty plot. Quaquaval behind screens, being able to boost up, heal up, switch out. Klefki behind its own screens with these defensive stats. You need screens up, bro. You need them up. You need them up. You need them up. It's going to help you set that extra layer of spike. It's going to help you T-Wave that extra target. It's going to help you come in that one extra time and foul play the demon that's in front of you trying to set up and win the game. It's going to help you. It's going to help you. So, yes, people will bring anti-screens tech against me. Gengar is a reliable brick break immunity. Meowscarada on switching is a reliable psychic fangs immunity. I have to play really aggressive to get those predictions right. But it's fine. It's fine. The turns they're going to spend defogging, that's going to be, or not defogging, clicking those moves, that's turns I'm going to abuse them. Maybe T-Wave them, maybe set up a spike, yada yada yada. Klefki is an amazing support, best typing in the game. Allegedly, people say that. I kind of have to agree. It's one of them, at least. It's amazing. Yes, so the subpar stats are really carried by its ability. And the fun part is, it's a fairy type. So although its biggest counter is dark type, our dark types, its biggest counter singular, is a ground type, I would say. It's a fairy type. So it actually pressures those with stab offensively. Yes, off of a base 180, uninvested. I'm aware of that. But super effective. There's something called super effective in this game. And unless we're talking about a Alola, you're adding on a poison type, which I'm immune to, that's fine. That's fine. Klefki is going to be able to come to every game. I noticed that this mon can come to every game. Having it in BBR, I'm fine with it. I'm proud of it. I want to use it. Here we go. Next up on my defensive line, we got some offense sorted now. We have offensive support, we have offensive sweeping capabilities, and we have straight up wall breaking. On the physical side, on the special side, and we got the speed tiers mostly in order. So here we go. More defensive backbone. Next mon up, an alien from outer space has just arrived on the team. I've been using Deoxys speed last season. Coming off of the season of UPA, we used Deoxys attack. And now we're using Deoxys defense. The only thing remaining is using Deoxys regular, but maybe in sometime in the future. That's also an Uber, so we'll see about that. Deoxys and Deoxys attack are pretty similar, you see. But Deoxys defense is nothing like that. It is the contrast stark opposite. This thing is a defensive wall with a semi-bad typing for being defensive. I get that. It's stacking weakness with Gengar. I get that. But with Klefki screen support, and as a secondary spiker, this can more reliably get to be the stealth rocker. It can run T-Wave less because Klefki is better at doing that. It can set up screens less because Klefki can do that. So it gets to focus its moveset on tanking things and running recover first of all. This thing being able to heal itself is immensely valuable and is the singular thing that puts it above Mesprit in my opinion. Because Mesprit, for example, can U-turn out, set up rocks, knock off, T-Wave, Encore, just like Deoxys can, except the Encore, I guess. But, you know, this thing can teleport instead of U-turn. That's an even slower way of pivoting out. Yes, it might have to involve you taking some big damage first, but Mesprit gets Healing Wish, sacrifices its own life to bring something back. Well, this just gets recovers. This gets to stay on the field and tank and outlast the threats that it needs to, or help soften them up for my offensive core. Yes, Healing Wish is an amazing tool, and Mesprit would have done amazing on this team as well. I'm not saying that, but the thing that made me pick Deoxys defense was, first of all, Mesprit was taken, and if it wasn't taken, I still would have picked Dio just because it can heal itself. That, you have to think about Pokemon as a game. Pokemon is a game where your monsters take damage, and your monsters do damage. The dude that doesn't have any monster health left has lost the game. So being able to heal yourself is immensely valuable. Immensely valuable. So I really favor that. It's also a pressure tool for low PP usage. Not that handy in an offensive metagame. But you know, it's got some cool tools as well. It can set up with Cosmic Power, Store Power. I've seen people do work with that as well. Shoutouts again to Ducky. That video is crazy. If you need to go and sit down with a bucket of popcorn and find yourself that video right now, because that was a treat to watch. But this thing kind of has some hidden demon offensive power as well, with a lot of setup with Cosmic Power. So it's Nightshade for consistent damage against dark type threats. It pairs really well defensively with Klefki. It's not that good without a super good defensive pair, but Fairy Psychic on the defensive side is a really funny combo there. Absolutely. So we might be able to do some cooking with that. This is Deoxys defense, 160 defensive stats in every type, and the typing I need, and it helps with the speed. It's all that I need. Let's proceed. My God, bars! What the hell? Okay, let's proceed. Okay, dude. Sometimes I just hit the right spot. Okay. There we go. Volcarona. This is where it goes completely off the rails. Who drafts Volcarona on this team? Nothing but me. We got Iron Wing, Slithermoth right here. 100 base speed helps bridge the Gengar, helps bridge the Meowscarada further to the Deoxys and the Quaquaval. Now we're at the bare minimum where Quaquaval max speed investment goes to max speed investment Volcarona, and you can't put nothing in between there and be greedy with a plus attacking nature. So that's pretty good for us. I originally didn't want Volcarona, I'll be honest. I wanted someone else. I wanted Moltres here. Moltres would have, look at how Moltres fits into this team. Amazing. But Volcarona was the next best fit. It is still a fire type that can heal itself. Not Roost, but with Morning Sun, which is slightly worse. It's 4 times weak to rock, so that doesn't change. I was already prepared to accept that weakness. The speed is actually better for the team than Moltres, because Moltres would have stacked speed with Deoxys defense, not really investing in speed. Volcarona does invest in speed sometimes. Either it's a tank. Yes, you're going to have to play careful around your quad weakness when you're not Terra. 65 defense isn't really salvageable, but 85, 105, that's doable. That's pretty doable. And maybe against the right, if you have a really good matchup, typing wise, maybe you can tank some physical hits as well. Maybe if you get the Flame Body on a weak hit, on a U-turn or something, maybe you can come in and tank it later, which could help. Either way, this thing is fun. It's a setup demon. Absolute setup demon. You know, on the team by now, we have some setup demons. We have Cosmic Power potential on the Deoxys. We have Nasty Pop potential on Gengar. Quaquaval, don't need to say much there. It's a setup demon with Moxie. Obviously, Raging Bolt is one of the strongest setup demons in the game. And Volcarona was a setup demon of the past, coming back to haunt its revenge over not being able to Terra. So yes, I'm going to have to play careful with it. And of course, maybe not bring 6 sweepers and screens. Maybe I do. Maybe I bring 6 sweepers. Maybe that's actually the play. Maybe that's why I haven't been winning championships. 6 sweepers and screens every single game. This is going to be called 5 sweepers and Klefki. 5 Nights of Freddy's. 5 sweepers and Klefki. That's what this is going to be right now. So we're just going to add sweepers. No. But it's another potential. This behind screens as well might even survive a non-stab rock move. A Quiver Dance up, and there you go. Yeah, and I'll also get some defensive tools as Will-O-Wisp. It gets U-turn. You could go for a slower U-turn. It gets some fun stuff like trapping stuff with Fire Spin, setting up Light Screen itself, Struggle Bugging to dampen some damage, going out and trying to nuke stuff before Nuking stuff as a defensive approach. Kill you before you kill me kind of thing, I guess. It has the flame body secondary condition, being able to stay around to later in the game with healing. Yes, the item is going to be kind of monotone. I think if you don't run heavy duty boots on the Volcarona, you have no say in taking 50% from Stealth Rock. Is going to be hard, and it does make Quaquaval's job harder. So it's not the best fit of the team, but honestly, I'm fine with it. I want to use it. It looks fun. Let's do it. Next up, this is where I really looked at covering my typings up. The speed is the speed is bridged. Our offense is leaning a little more towards the special side right now. We want a physical, essentially we want a physical ground type that can set up Stealth Rock, so it's not only Deoxys' job, but we also want the ground type to be able to do some damage as well, and maybe cover our secondary typing that we don't have. This mon fits every single category on that list, and here you go. I've not used this thing in 15 years. Here is Mamoswine. This thing was on my every single Hard Gold Soul Silver team I ever played on. I always got Mamoswine because it nukes the Elite Four both times, and red. It does not give a single damn. And it sweeps Kanto, it sweeps Johto. This thing is a beast. 130 attacking stat is crazy. Thick Fat makes it even better. It has priority for the team, which is pretty good. And this is kind of where we're putting on some bulky offense that's more like coming straight at you instead of having to set up first. This with Meowscarada, with Gengar, with Raging Bolt is going to hit hard. It's going to hit hard. Volcarona, Quaquaval, some matchups Raging Bolt kind of need a boost first to get going, especially to sweep. But here we got the breaking potential, bringing these things down. This and Choice Band and Mamo, Choice Band and Meowscarada, one or the other or both. It's gonna hurt your life. It's gonna be leaving some dents in your hose, and you don't want that. No. So this thing is fun. I like it a lot. I've been wanting to use Mamo again. It's one of those mons where it's kind of like Bronzong, where it's impossible to prep perfectly on paper because finding a switch-in for an ice ground type stab on both is really hard, because what resists ice usually is weaker to ground, and what resists ground is usually weaker to ice. Like the only typing that doesn't resist ground, the only typing that resists ground that isn't weak to ice is Bug. And in terms of Bug, I'm not really scared of Bug. Yeah, maybe a little bit if Meowscarada hasn't gotten to change his typing yet. Maybe an Excelgor I would be a little scared of with this team. But Excelgor isn't in the game, so that's fine. Maybe a U-turn from a Dragapult or something like that. Yeah, and when it comes to ice resists, Steel, Fire, those are weak to ground. So it's gonna be just a pleasure to see. Yes, ice is resisting of ice and not weak to ground, but I have Thick Fat for ice. So I'm not even neutral to ice myself. I semi-resist ice, kind of. Or do I just regular resist ice? I'm not. I think is one of the other. I think I half resist ice. Let me know in the comments. It's very fun either way to have Thick Fat on this thing. It does a bajillion damage. It can also set up on its own. It doesn't really ever need a damage boost. So it just runs Trailblaze 3 attacks if it ever wants to go for a sweep, because 130 is usually enough. You need to be prepared for stuff like Intimidate and stuff to lower your attack burns and stuff like that. But aside from that, you're pretty good to go. This thing behind screens might also tank an extra hit, getting off an extra move, getting off that stealth rock that I need. And there's also the potential surprise freeze dry. Having an ice type that knows freeze dry is key to draft, in my opinion. Yes, it is not a how should I say it? It's not like throwing a ball with your right hand, because this is a physical attacker and freeze dry special, but it is still there for a quad weakness at the right opportune moment. And it also got some fun stuff like Haze, Endeavor, Reversal if you want to go down that route. If you want to make it a tank and go for Avalanche, be my guest. I can also do that. Smackdown is also really fun. Yeah, so that's Mamoswine. Fits every single check on that list, and we can move on. So now I'm more so over to covering up the last holes, slapping on mons that I want to use, seeing if there's anything the team lacks that I really need. And we're covering those points one by one. Next point up is going to be covering the holes. This team is rather ghost weak. Deoxys defense being a main primary defender, with one of my offensive pieces, Gengar, being also weak to it, and my only resist on this team so far for Ghost would be Meowscarada. Meowscarada changes its typing, and even if it does stay dark, it is frail as a sack of potatoes, and it's not going to be able to tank the Ghost moves that I need it to tank. So we need that Ghost immunity, and how do you get that Ghost immunity? You get that normal type. So I wanted a normal type, and I also saw that my team could use a little help for ground. Maybe wanting to Terra Electric a bit more, maybe wanting to get Gengar a few more times in, maybe don't want to run Magnet Rise on Klefki. Well, there you go. Normal flying type. I caught the best, I caught it in the wild. I got the best normal flying type on the table. And it was for 4 points with being able to Terra. Here we go. It's Staraptor. Staraptor with Terra, that's like loading a semi-truck with dynamite. This thing might not be able to drive in a lot of different directions. It does one thing and one thing very good, and that is click a stab move and do damage and die. I guess those are the two things that it's really good at. But my god, does it do those two things really well. It does damage. Believe me when I say it does damage, especially with Terra. But I was thinking, okay, with Staraptor, it costs the same to Terra as if I have it regular. Yes, I can Terra Gengar instead, but I don't want both of my Terra options to be special, because that incentivizes people to bring Assault Vest more. And though my team does really well against the Assault Vest user at the moment, I don't want to add another challenge for myself, and I figured Staraptor with Terra, maybe I can run it Scarf a little more often instead of having to run Choice Band, because I get the extra damage from Terra. And yeah, I doubt I'm ever going to Terra something else outside of Raging Bolt, just because of how good it is. But if Staraptor is already in the middle of a sweep and I see that Terra can just get me to the end, I'm just one button away from it. So it also really, funnily enough, I think this will do a lot of work for me on the bench. When Staraptor isn't coming to games, you kind of have to prep some switches for a Terra Staraptor, because it's going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt you bad. And you might need to prep some normal or flying resists, some rock types into it. Yes, it gets close combat, but unless I'm running Terra Fighting, then you know the drill. But if you prep answers for Staraptor, if you prep rock types, if you prep steel types, it sets up the team very nicely. Mostly rock types with Quaquaval Meowscarada, but also steel types for Mamoswine and the Volcarona. So I'm not really too worried about it. I kind of like it, and it's also just like I can bring Scar Final Gambit, I can bring Sash Endeavor, I can bring fun stuff. It's just a low tier option that I need, and we're starting to run out of points anyway. The other thing that I really saw I wanted to have on my team, yes, I get it's double type overlap. I'm telling you this right now so you're prepared for it when it comes on screen. Pause. When it shows up on screen, it is double type overlapping my team, but not in necessarily a super bad way, and I'm going to show you because it has a Terra option. This is Vikavolt. Vikavolt is not what Vikavolt once was. Vikavolt used to be really good. It had Roost, and it lived life pretty. Gen 9 came around, lost Roost. Huge trouble. Now not being able to heal itself, it's a much, much worse option. But, although it's not what it once was, it still fills a hole in my team that I really want, and it's Sticky Web. Sticky Web is what makes this team godlike, in my opinion, or the potential of Sticky Web. Not that I'm Sticky Webbing every matchup, every game. There might be Cinderace core change, 6 heavy duty boots users, etc. But Sticky Web is it's an essential tool to have on a team such as this. I don't have the fastest team, I don't have the strongest team, but give me one free turn with this team. One free turn unchecked, and so many of my mons can run away with the game. Vikavolt can set sticky webs, and you don't want Meowscarada Raging Bolt running around with you having to deal with webs. Trust me, you just don't. Even Mamoswine, Volcarona, Demons with sticky web. Gengar not having to run a scarf? Oh my glub. Staraptor not having to run a scarf. Oh my gloob. This thing is amazing. And since it has that Terra option, I just want to remind you, this thing has higher special attack than Raging Bolt. And it's one of the same typings, electric. If I Terra this thing electric, it has no weakness unless you run Mold Breaker with the ground move. And it just does more damage than a Raging Bolt. Yes, Raging Bolt over time can do more damage with Calm Mind, but off the rip, off the turn you Terra, this thing does more damage. And that's really funny, with no weakness. The other Terra type I can see for this that I really wanted was Terra Ghost. Just because I want another option of Terra Ghost in case Gengar goes down. It's really frail and might have to trade its life often. And it helps keep the sticky webs up. If I have sticky webs up and I, by God, need them up to win the game, and they're posing a rapid spinner threat that is immediately able to solve for it, I can Terra Ghost, negate the option, and regular Terra Bolt, and Meowscarada still will be happy to meet you at the sticky web entrance. It can also it also solves a third thing that I really want, and that was more slow pivot. Yes, Dio can slow pivot with teleport, but that is shut down by taunt, and it's also shut down by Dio dying before he gets the teleport off. Yes, I have slow flip turn and potentially slow U-turn and, you know, stuff like that, but I wanted a really slow and secure way of getting my threats in. And Vikavolt is that. It's a potential Focus Sash lead that I can use to get down to 1 HP, Volt Switch off of modest 250 to 145 base special attack, do bunch of damage to maybe something critical off the rip, and then getting Raging Bolt to continue the electric offense, Meowscarada to get a knockoff on an item I need, or U-turn for continued momentum, or maybe I even just get in something simple as Klefki and start setting up screens and just make life a living hell for them. If my opponent has no hazard control at all, I can set up Sticky Web, I can set up Spike, and I can set up Stealth Rock, and I can set up T-Spike. I have every hazard in multiply them. The only thing I don't have is multiple Sticky Web users, but that's fine, we don't really need that. But this is an actual Sticky Web user that can do damage, slow pivot into my threats, and help me out with the Sticky Web utility. And it's a mon I've been wanting to use for a long time. So Vikavolt is on the squad. There you go. For 3 points, that's not bad. Last but not least, we got Meep. And if you got a problem with Meep, you got a problem with me. Meep is right here. So yes, right now I have Terra Staraptor. I could have Terra Gengar. It was the Assault Vest problem. The reason I haven't Terra Mewmore is because I'm afraid. I'm missing, I can only have 3 Terra Captains for a total of 28 points. And yes, I was debating doing Mewmore for a little bit with Terra. Don't take that out of context. Just because if you get that Shell Smash off and you have the Terra available, you might just get the free game. But I'm kind of worried that it's too easy to see coming. So I was afraid, and I just went for the more breaking power with Staraptor. I might end up changing it. But as of right now, I want to try Staraptor at least for a little bit. There's no doubt that this thing has potential to take in Steel games. And it's always something you gotta prep for, or else it might just come up from out of nowhere. And it also has, funnily enough, a lot of good team support that's good for Mewmore. It has the Sticky Web. It has the screens and T-Wave and good knockoffs and T-Spikes and Stealth Rocks and Priority and Flame Body, and, you know, Terra Raging Bolt always helps. So Mewmore, I needed a little more help for ground. As you can see, my three last picks have been to try and mitigate some ground weakness, and that will help the team overall. If there's anything I'm going to be switching into a ground move, it's something that's immune to it, because Meowscarada is a resist as long as it stays a grass type, but again, it's frail like a sack of potatoes, so it's going to die, and I don't want that. I also see now that this slide never updated to include its actual weakness. Sorry about that. And I also noticed during this that my point values are 1 point off, so you're going to have to excuse the faults today. It's past 12 a.m. It's past 1 a.m. actually, soon to be 2 a.m. I have my first week battle tomorrow. Wish me luck with the team. We might end up doing some changes, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I like to stay on in the app a little bit if I have time to do it. Last team recap, I didn't have time to do it. I didn't even have time to make the graphics. This time I actually took time to make the graphics. So I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to support all the wonderful WPF Delta coaches down in the description below. Let me know what you think of the team, answer the question of the day, and I'll see you guys next time if that's okay. This has been your boy Soulblaze, and as always, I hope you take care of yourself, and I hope you take care of your families as we're soon reaching the summer holiday. Peace.